Hi, guys. It is Saturday, May 16th. I originally got the name wrong on the post here, so I pre-apologize for that. But hopefully everyone will still make it and be here. We might get a Sammy sighting. She is sleeping off to the side in a box, because box, why not? Hello, whoever is joined. Please jump into the water. Say hi. Let me adjust this here. I lifted the camera to do something to settle up some other stuff. So whoops. Whoops. You know, I have this thing on absolute silence and it still does that. Thank you for the like, sir. All right. So good afternoon to you, Mr. Drew. So I did put out the request for questions, and while everyone had tons of questions for Columbina and for Stupina, we didn't have a whole lot of questions for me, possibly because we've been doing live chats for a while. So, you know, you've had the opportunity to ask me questions, but I am opening this up today for questions of different natures of the Commedia. You know, you got a little bit from Stupina, but she might not be able to give you as much detail about the history of the masks or when the masks were made, anything like that. But you know, we can talk about anything that we would like to today. It is very casual and laid back. Pardon me. I'm going to slide back just a hair, so hopefully there isn't a volume issue. We have a comment. I would like to know what Mustard Seed might like from... All right, so what Mustard Seed would like from Disney. Well, besides making sure that, you know, she caught up with all of her friends, like Tink, and spent some time in Fairy Tale Hollow, she would probably want some of the flowers from the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. She would, yeah, she would probably want to just, you know, go play in the festival, the Flower and Garden Festival, not with the food, not with the people, but in the flowers, because, you know, fairy plant. Speaking of which, I just finished watching the second Maleficent movie, and I quite enjoyed it. It was quite lovely. Thought I'd throw that in there. But I think, yeah, I think she would be all about the hello, Clash with Rocky. Nice to meet you. So what are we doing here? All right. Oh, sorry. Good evening. Are we across? We're across the pond, I assume. We are, so yeah, so we're just kind of chatting about assorted topics that people would like to know about. Oh, from India. Oh my goodness, you are really far across the way. Where in India? I'm curious. I work with a lot of people who are all over the world and different parts of countries. You guys, I know, are still, I believe you are still under quarantine and lockdown the same way we are here. They've just started lifting some of the more intensive lockdowns, and I think I heard similar for you guys. So would be curious to see how that part of the world is happening for you. Thought we would talk, you know, Commedia, if you want to talk Commedia dell'arte, that we can talk Disney. I'm in Orlando and what's going on there right now. But just, you know, seeing what's going out with the rest of the world and kind of keep this casual today. So I'm going to go Disney themed because it's sort of an easy way for me to kind of jump into topics, and we can go in and out of that. So if there's something different that we want to discuss, I'm all for that. I thought, hello, Mr. Matt. I am enjoying this lovely warm weather. This is yesterday. I had windows open. You know, 2 days before that, I'm in 2 layers of socks and a sweatshirt on top of my clothes inside the house, and I'm still freezing. And yesterday, and oh, hello, we've got an Aggie and a Sammy. We might hear fighting shortly. Stop it, children. But we ended up just, you know, I mean, I'm barefoot, just enjoying the joy of a normal temperature. You know, I mean, yesterday was a little hot, but today is just glorious. Really, really nice. Projects, you said. Any new hobbies or projects you've been working on behind the scenes? I'll be honest, right now with the work that I do beyond the theatrical work, I have been a little overwhelmed with some transitions. I work with meetings, and we've had to go from live events to virtual events, and it's a learning curve. It's a big deal. So we are frantically working on that. But I am sort of on hold until I know whether or not the festival is actually happening. Um, the main things I'm looking at right now are I'm supposed to be going to Disney and Universal. Hey, 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 drama queens. Sammy, jump up here to get by. Sammy, if you will excuse me a moment, the children are having a moment, and I need to get one past the other, or we're going to have screaming and hissing. Give me a sec. There we go. She followed my path. I moved a pillow out of the way to have one cat jump up and around, and she did. Fabulous. She's smart. I like her. Okay. Back to what we were talking about. So I'm supposed to be going to Universal, Disney, and Disney Springs and Universal with my nephew for his college graduation present. Similarly to what I did for his nephew, his brother, my other nephew. And given everything that's going on, that may not happen. We are very much up in the air. No clue whatsoever if this is going to happen or not. Because of that, I think, basically Disney's been canceling reservations for people kind of at a week by week basis. So I am at that crux where they have canceled everything up through June 6th. And even a few things that were up to June 8th, and mine's supposed to be June 10th. So we don't know. Now, the Disney stuff, we were only going to be doing Disney Springs, and then we were supposed to go into the parks at Universal. And while both of the food areas, the Disney Springs area, should be back to being open by that point, if the resorts aren't open, we can't even go. We can't physically get in. So I will be having more conversations with him. Once I see if that gets canceled, and then who knows, maybe I could do stuff at my timeshare or something, where it's all up in the air right now. But beyond that, I mean, it's all learning curve stuff. It's all different stuff. I wouldn't necessarily call it fun stuff yet. I've been doing a little bit of play reading, but not a lot. This is the time of year where the other job kind of usurps most of my brain energy, and it is definitely doing that. Come summer, we'll see what happens. When the worst of that crazy is over, I'm going to need to start mentally shifting gears and seeing where life, etc., is going to head, because we just don't know. Trying to stay non-negative. What is the status of your trip? Oh, well, funny that, Drew. Hey, Drew, guess what? I'm going to answer your question already. So yes, nephew and I have had had a conversation. He has an internship that is going to be taking him out of the country. Maybe at this point, we don't know. And when that's going to happen, and if it's going to be delayed, no clue. So once we find all that out, he's supposed to have a meeting with the group that organizes that. I believe it was either this week that just passed, or it's coming up this week. So once he gets an idea from them, if and how it's delayed, then we'll start kind of sussing through what the game plan is going to be. I expect that I will hear from Disney by the end of next week if it's been canceled. Or if they're going to say, hey, Disney Springs is opened and we're opening resorts, but the parks aren't open or something, at least I'll have a heads up of what way I'm going. And then it might even be that the resort I'm scheduled to be at is closed, but other resorts are open, or, who knows? They are starting to bring in custodial staff. They have not started bringing in other staff that I know of. So without the other staff coming in, the resort staff getting training, that may be moot. I did happen to look at my timeshare, and they do have some open season, which means instead of using my points, I can just pay them. And to have a significant space, I could still do that. But it's going to be whether or not that's what he wants, because we could go and do 2 days of a whole lot of food and a whole lot of drinking at Disney Springs and a little bit of Universal. There's not a whole lot of food at Universal. And make that kind of an excursion experience. But we don't know if that, if he really wants it to be about the amusement parks, then that's going to be what we'd have to wait, because if we can't get into the park, that may not be helpful. And truth be told, if he still goes out of the country, it might end up being that we look at doing this in another year and a half when he comes back. And that's equally possible. So, we're going to play it by ear. The next 2 or 3 weeks are going to be the big tell on that. And then we'll know. There's a small part of me that, I have everything booked. I have my flight booked. I have the hotel is booked. I've been doing Uber time, or if I'd been staying on Disney property, I'd be doing Magical Express to get there. But there's just, if I have to switch it to staying at the timeshare, then I might have to look at renting a car, or I might have to look at some other stuff. And who knows, maybe I'll go and do a couple days by myself, use my Tables in Wonderland if they'll let me. Everything's kind of on hold right now because the parks are closed. The Tables in Wonderland is on hold too. But a couple days staying in a nice hotel and treating myself after the crazy that I'm going through right now, it still may be useful. We'll see. I have not heard what's going on with Universal. Any news sources? Disney has taken the headlines. What is news? Okay. So Universal's announced plan is not fully announced yet. City Walk opened, actually, on the 14th. And then on the 15th, more places opened. The first day was Margaritaville, the pizza place, Voodoo Donuts for ordering on your phone and kind of getting things to go. Or you could stand in an hours-long line with lots of social distancing. Face masks for everyone. When you get to the parking garage section, they take your temperature before they let you go through the moving walkways. Pardon me, I scratched my hand, so it's being really annoying. So they're doing and I've seen a lot of it. It's literally they hold a little thing up to your head, boop, get your temperature, and you walk. But you have to stand 6 feet apart from the person in front of you. They had stilt walkers out on City Walk that were in masks. So they have not announced when they're looking at opening the parks. There is work being done in the parks. And I have not checked with my source to see if he knows anything more about people being asked to come back. And I should have touched base with him, and I'm going to in the next couple days, if not when we get done this conversation, to see what he knows in terms of game plans, so I can be making my alternative plans. So that's where we are there. And I actually, this trip, I have one day one night that we were supposed to stay at Universal property. So I'm not sure how that's going to pan out either. So it's all kind of up in the air. I mean, the good thing is that for the Christmas trip, as long as that still happens, that I do for myself, my annual pass will not expire at the beginning of the trip. It'll actually go 3 months beyond that, or 2 months beyond that, because it was put on hold when all the parks closed. So that'll be interesting. And I'm hoping, because my annual pass with Disney, God, I'm rambly about this, aren't I? I could talk for hours about this garbage because it's all planning. The annual pass with, and it's not garbage, but you know what I mean. The annual pass with Disney would have expired on June 13th. Now I've got 2 more months. So June, July, August 13th is when it ends, which may or may not be useful to me. If the parks don't open even more, it'll keep extending beyond that. If everything goes well and festival happens according to plan, then I can't go during that time. If things go awry, maybe, I don't know. And it all depends on the government. It all depends on what it depends on. And we can only hope, we can only hope that we will be all seeing each other again soon. I have talked to my source a couple times, spending time with family and being relatively bored. I mean, his life is about his family right now a lot. And that is continuing to be the case. But the last time I checked, ooh, excuse me, he's well, he's healthy, he's, doing his thing. He is, they were being paid for a while. I don't know that they were still being paid. I don't remember how long that one went. So, and I don't think I got that information, and that's not necessarily something I'd share here anyway. Yeah, I mean, we've spoken, but not like, maybe not in the last couple of weeks, maybe like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago was the last time we chatted. And it was brief, more texty type stuff. And I may actually pick up the phone and give him a call. Hello, whoever has joined us. Welcome to the conversation. We are talking about, right at this moment, Universal and in Orlando, and Disney in Orlando. We may have just lost you anyway. Who knows? But this conversation does not have to be focused on Orlando topics. From those of you who watched Stupina and Columbina in the last few weeks, or if you after the fact, if there is questions you have about them, the masks behind my face, because people always ask about those, other topics you want to know about, this is the time to say, hey, what the heck? Because I haven't had official themed, and I was specifically opening this up to questions. So curious to see what you got going there, what you have questions about. What else do we have? Okay, well, so what I was going to talk about, if you guys don't have questions right now, I'm going to do a little daydreaming. If I did not have time constraints, meaning, and financial was the limit, I could do whatever the heck I wanted in terms of funds of where I stayed. I keep trying to think about what my ultimate Disney trip would be, or Orlando trip, I should say, because it might not be all Disney. So in what did I just do there? I don't know what I just did there. Oh, there you go. In a dream world, I think a perfect length of a vacation for me there would probably be 2 weeks. That's what I think. And it would be a lot more downtime than what I usually do. I'd still probably, well, in a perfect world, if I didn't have to worry about money, etc., I would probably get like a 10 o'clock in the morning flight where I didn't have to get up stupid early and I could avoid rush hour getting to the airport. And that would put me in the landing at about 1:30 in the afternoon. So if I'm landing at about 1:30, got perfect trip, minivan from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel. I love the Tragical Express, but it just takes a lot of time up. Hotel. So here's the thing. In a perfect world, if I could do it, I would probably resort hop a little bit between some of the deluxe resorts and the moderates. So I think the perfect, if I'm doing it, I have to, okay. Because I'm coming up with some of this as we're doing it. I think the perfect first place is going to be either the Yacht and Beach Club or the Boardwalk. And that would get me there at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So 3 o'clock at that point, I probably should be able to get into my room, get to the room, have it be near the main building and near the boat transportation. And then I think I would probably either walk or take the boat into Epcot and just eat and drink around the world for the first day. Just on my own time and my own pace. Go back to the hotel and go to sleep. The next day, I would probably try to do Rise of the Resistance, get up really early because I'm still in my gung-ho early energy mode, and spend that day there. I would go to the Hollywood Brown Derby for lunch at the outside lounge. I would take a break, and I want to try Il Mulino, the Italian restaurant at the Swan and Dolphin. That's my what do we got here? Sorry. Speaking of family, hi, Mike the Grove B. You mean how is everybody doing there, or how is the Grove itself? I mean, I think I've said about as much as I can. I mean, if you look at the sort of Friends of Fair pages that are public on Facebook and stuff, you'll see, the Smiths are doing what planning and mental preparation that they can do. And we're all kind of just trying to move forward with the hope that we can open as normal. You know, it's going to be based a lot on what the government says. You know, we are any amusement park like Disney, like Revel Grove, they are like phase 3 of the 3-phase plan, and probably toward the end of it for what we do. You know, there are a lot of things to be concerned about, such as washing your hands and the ability to do so, the cleaning of touch points and things, because it's not like it's plastic and metal that you can wipe down easily. You know, there's not a whole lot of running water there. There's one set of privies with running water. So who knows? I know that they are doing everything they can to make plans. I don't know what those plans are. I am not privy to any of that. The auditions have gone virtual, as far as I know, and I think that's public knowledge on the website. And I don't know if and when callbacks will be, and I don't know what the schedule is going to be. You know, I don't know that a whole lot of contracting has happened. You know, if you look out in the market right now, you will see that more and more of these spring and summer festivals have pushed back their festival to the fall. There are going to be a lot of festivals scheduling their shows between October and November. And there are a limited number of acts. You know, all of these people who usually do a show in, you know, do Georgia in the spring, and then go down and do, or go up and do Sterling, and then go over, or Minnesota, and then come back and do Maryland, and then end up in Carolina, you know, that do that literally, like, you know, cold weather, hot weather, cold, you know, and they follow the up and down of the country, wherever it is. They're usually doing 4, 5, 6, 8 shows in a year. And everything from March and maybe even February, but I know March on just disappeared. So everyone's doing their stuff in the fall. You can only do one show. So how that's going to pan out, I don't know. You know, I don't know that anybody's been contracted, you know, unless, like, I'm sure there are some major big acts that got contracted in January, you know, because they're the big acts and that's the way things go. But anything beyond that, no clue. You know, I know I can say I don't have anything yet, but that's not that I'm not, you know, in discussions with the festival. But there are no discussions with the festival. Everything's on hold. You know, we'll see. I hope for the best. I'm mentally making plans. I've thrown comments in, and that's all I know. You know, that's the festival is going to be what it's going to be, given what the situation is. That's all I got. That's all I got. And I wish I could, you know, I wish I had the authority to know and to have this information, but I am in as much waiting for details as everybody else. You know, I think for financial reasons, I would love to see it happen. For emotional reasons, I would love to see it happen. For creative pursuits, I would love to see it happen. But we have to be smart. We have to be healthy. We have to be safe. We have to protect, you know, the general populace. And even if we do have it, it's going to look different. It's going to have to. I have no idea what that different is. You know, if I am saying anything here, it is absolute speculation. Please understand that I have no official knowledge. None. Nada. This is me just wondering. I don't know. I don't know that they could put more water in. I don't know that they could do whatever. Hello. That makes it really hard for me to see anything right now. I lost the chat feature. Well, that's annoying as heck. Okay. I had chat here before. I don't know where it is. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got more people coming in from the other side of the world at very early in the morning for them. So hope everyone is safe and keeping healthy around the world, doing things that are smart. Hello, Miss Terry. Welcome, welcome. Good. I appreciate your love. I send it back to you. Much, much appreciated. If for those of you following this now, later, or whatever, as a reminder, if you've enjoyed this, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you've not already subscribed, and I'm pretty positive people on here now have, but if you haven't, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And comments like you're giving me now, fabulousness, I appreciate it. So yeah, we were talking about, you know, my random possible thoughts of what could happen with the festival. And again, like I said, if I thank you for the like, if I come say anything here, it is not official. It is not any, I don't know. I don't know. I can daydream. I can speculate. I can wonder. I don't know. So if anyone's watching this, this is not official. This is absolutely not official. This is me rambling, you know, and probably incorrectly at that. So, you know, I don't know what they're going to do. I wish I could, you know, well, actually, I don't know if I want to see into the future. But I wish I knew the magic way to make everything fixed and worked. You know, there's just no way. Questions so detailed. Thank you, Mr. Drew, for that assistance. All right, so I was starting to talk about that perfect dream vacation, and I only got through day one because I'm kind of going in and out. That's sort of to fill the empty spots if people don't have questions. So if you've got questions, throw them out. We can talk Commedia, we can talk theater, we can talk Orlando, we can talk whatever stuff you want my thoughts on. So the last, well, we just, so things that would happen during this perfect trip. There would be at least 3 to 4 days that I just hung out at the resorts. There would be 1 to 2 days at Universal, tops. And I think I might throw a day of SeaWorld in there just to see it, because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I would stay at the boardwalk. I would stay at those bungalows on the water at Polynesian that are like right on the water with the pools where you can sit there and watch the fireworks, if they have fireworks. I would stay, I keep doing it. You're probably hearing crackling. It's because I keep picking at my nails and it's right where I have the microphone. I got to remember not to do that. What was I just thinking? I would go to Victoria and Albert's. I would do the chef's table at Citricos. I would do dining with an Imagineer at the Hollywood Brown Derby. I would, you know, if money was no object, heck, I would build a lightsaber because they are really cool looking. I would get a VIP tour guide for at least 2 days, and do some backstage stuff with the animals, etc. I would do drinking around the world, a drinking around the monorail, a drinking around the Skyliner. Unofficial ones, of course. If there were special events, like Not So Scary or any of those, I would probably do 1 night of that just to see the experiences, because it's not something I normally get to do. I would go to, I'm trying to think of the other restaurants. I'm trying to think. Let me see here what we got here. Oh, and a spa day for sure. Maybe 2, because why not? And I would try the Saratoga Springs Spa, Sansa Spa, as well as possibly go back to the Grand Floridian one. I would get tea at the Grand Floridian because I do enjoy that. I'll throw you a curveball. May 2020 is drunk. Yes, it is. Snow last weekend and 85-degree temperatures yesterday. Oi. My headaches are amazing and the storm front's passing, but I know I'm not alone with this. You are correct. You are not alone with this. Yeah, I have outright said 2020 is drunk. May 2020 is, it's just, what the hell? What the hell? Like I said, 2 days ago, I was wearing double socks and a sweatshirt and sweats, and not sweats, pants with layers and stuff inside my house, and my toes were still ice cold, freezing, you know, nubby bits of icicles. And then yesterday, I'm like getting ready to bake something in the oven and going, oh God, can I tolerate the heat? You know, and turning the ceiling fans on to cool it down. And, you know, I moved the temperature gauge in the house up to, what was it, 81, so that, you know, when the temperature would start to go up in the house because of the heat outside, it wouldn't be a problem. And then I realized the AC was still kicking on at that temperature because it was that hot outside. So crazy, crazy stuff. I do not think all right, so the N95s are the ones that come over here, and they've got like air filters, I believe. The problem is that these masks, the Commedia ones, are designed to leave your mouth open, because that is, your eyeballs and your chin are the only parts that become your emotional expression and your physicalization. The full face masks, well, that's a neutral mask. Whoop, doo, doo. The full face, like that, yeah, I probably could. The only problem is you might see the frame of the actual mask outside of it, but there's no mouth there. There are 2 little nose holes, so it would be harder to breathe, but it'd be feasible to do. It would absolutely be feasible to do. Oh, okay. So is it like, I mean, all right, so the random face masks you see people wearing, if they slide a filter in, like a coffee filter or whatever in there, that's not the N95 style. That's just a slightly higher filtered thing, I assume. You know, so yeah, I mean, any of the Commedia masks, no. The full character masks, possibly, unless it's like the bird mask over there. You see the owl, the white, there, that one with the orange there. That is an owl, and it's a 2-piece mask. It's latex, and the top of it covers to here, and then it had a second mouthpiece that cupped over the chin, so so you would see it. It broke here, but you could always then do a makeup on your face of black or something so that it neutralizes that out. But it was so that that face could move. Most of the others, though, don't. So yeah, I don't have the ability to I mean, the Commedia mask, you really can't. Full face masks, yeah, you can, but you don't speak in those. Now, I mean, the only other option, of course, is, you know, you take Stupina's face and you start at the nose. You'd have to get the large mask because of the size of the extra, but I'd have to put the mask on and then tie the face on. So it would be amusing. It would be amusing. So the Miss Terry, are you still here? Do you have any questions for me? Anything you were curious to know about, or Matt? Anything? Remember, like, I know you saw like the Stupina stuff and you saw the Columbina stuff, and people had tons of questions for them. You can now actually ask me things about those characters that I can address for you. It's feasible to do, you know, to ask questions, because this will only go for another a tops 25, 28 minutes. So, you know, we will ramble a little bit longer. So perfect trip back. We'll go back to my perfect Orlando trip. Yeah, there's at least 2 spa days in there. I'm going to sleep in and do resort days. I am going to actually stay for a little bit of time at Port Orleans French Quarter, in the room that Drew and I had the last time, because I absolutely loved the corner there with it was right by the water. You had 2 windows. You got this great water view. It was wonderful and walking distance and romantic and fabulous. Pardon me. But yeah, fabulous. All right, Mr. Matt, you have asked any thoughts about participating in a digital. Oh, I'm not sure how that would work for me. My understanding is people are recording or doing live performances that people are watching on a stream, and then you have the option to donate to them. Is that how that works? I believe. I haven't focused a whole lot on that because, you know, me singing by myself just with a voice, I don't know that it would draw that kind of audience, you know, in the same way. I've got the live chats here, and granted, I need a ton more subscribers to even think about making a dime off of it. But, you know, I don't see me as the big name, or with all the musical instruments with the 3 or 4 people playing together. I don't know that I'm in that world. Now, I might be totally wrong and short selling myself. That is absolutely true. But just I have not really investigated it myself. I don't know how well it's helping the people that are doing it, and I don't know that it is a necessity for me. If it is something where the people are doing it, watching it, and then making money off of it, I'm going to let them do it, because I still have enough of a full-time job that I can make ends meet, and those guys can't right now. You know, if they don't have, if the Ren Fair is their entire income, I'm giving them their income. I'm not going to come in there and have somebody, you know, and try to have somebody give money to me instead of giving money to somebody else. You know, yeah, my money is shorter than it used to be, is less than it used to be. Things are a little tighter than they used to be, but I can get by. And that's what matters right now, you know, and I want everyone to have that fair shake and that ability to eat and to take care of themselves. It's, you know, that's just what you do. Terry has don't kick yourself, Terry. It hurts when you kick yourself. So Terry is upset that she's never experienced a Renaissance festival. So if you have gone onto this live chat, this channel of mine, and you scroll to a couple other places, you will see a little bit of Stupina on stage. You will see a little bit of the Interpreters singing, which is a singing group I used to be in a number of years ago. And that'll give you a little flavor about the Renaissance Festival. Or Matt, if you have a link to the Digital Ren Fair stuff in Facebook, if you can post that in the chat, and then Terry can take a look at it. And what I believe that, like I said, that is a lot of the acts that perform around the country are doing bits and pieces of their shows, miniature versions, because, you know, what are they going to do? They have no outlet for their work right now. So that's the new outlet. You know, I've seen clown performers doing similar things. Bill Irwin, who I adore beyond words, is a physical clown comedian. And you've seen him on a lot of straight theater stuff too. But he is doing a 2-person live Zoom-ish type performance where they're using that medium to do a comedy piece, a clown comedy piece that I'm very excited about. Terry, you need to fix this. Not for everyone, but if you can't let loose. Oh, no, Terry would adore this. You know, Terry went to my high school before I went there. She's actually friends with my brother and now with me. But she, if the festival opens, Drew, you can drag her off. If Renfest opens this season, Terry, you're coming down either with my brother or by yourself, and Drew can show you around. If my brother's not, oh yeah, because my brother's going to have a very specific view about the things he likes to see there. You need to be able to just experience it and see what's going to make you happy. My mom is all about the musical acts, you know, Volgamut and when Gypsophilia was there, and you know, the sounds, the music, etc. Others are there for the plays and the shows. You know, I don't, you know, I know, again, if all goes well, they're doing Richard III. Yes, all female cast. So there's a whole bunch of interesting stuff. Yeah, I Julie will not be local. Yeah, Julie hasn't been joining us lately, but that's okay. Her daughter, one of her daughters, I think, just graduated, and the other one is trying to make do. She's an ice skater, a competitive ice skater, like trying for the Olympics type ice skater, and but she's younger, and the way for her to be able to do her work is not there right now because of all what's going on. So I think I saw a photo of her on rollerblades, just kind of because that's that same kind of movement base, and just with a huge smile on her face because she had that ability to do her thing, you know, to where she's happy. And that made me happy. You know, he comes to the festival every year. My brother does come to the festival, and if any of my nephews are in town at that point, they've joined in. So yeah, I mean, convince him, and maybe, you know, maybe I can get you discounted tickets if nothing else. We'll see. I don't get that many, and at this point, who knows if I'm going to get them? God, geez. We just don't know. All of it, we just don't know. Every time I think of something or I say something, it's like, oh God, you know. And I trust the people who own that festival. It is a family-owned and run festival. I have such respect for them. You know, there are moments when decisions are made that I may not agree with, but overall, oh my God, it is the nirvana of Renfests. You know, if you talk to people on the circuit and you tell them that you work Maryland, it's like their eyes light up. Like, really? What is that like? Because it is, it's an amazing show. It really is. The audiences are intelligent and vibrant and well-informed and joyous about being there. The actors are incredibly well-trained. And I'm not saying they're not in other places, but they are incredibly well-trained and love the field and love the work they do. And it's an exceptional experience. I have been blessed to work that fair. And I've worked fairs elsewhere in the country. And I will still tell you upwards, downwards, and then some, that is the festival to be at. Maryland is just, I adore beyond words. And in all fairness, some people don't like it. Some people like other festivals. They had a personal experience that turned them off, or they had, you know, they had such a great experience at another show and that's their thing. And that's okay. You know, that's, it's what this world is, you know, so it's all good. Pardon me, I'm losing stuff here. We will get you out of that house, Miss Terry. Yeah, okay. Well, then bring your family with you if you've got family in Maryland, what the heck? Yeah. Join us. Come to the old side. I don't know. It's not the dark side and it's not the bright side. I don't know. Always look on the bright side. So I made duck last night. I know this is complete non sequitur, but you know, it made me happy. The farmer's market by me had duck. They had whole ducks, etc., but they had a little half duck because I was like looking at these. Even the small duck was like this. I'm like, it's just me. This is huge. So I made that last night with a kind of a guess at the recipe. It came out okay. I could have let the skin crisp a little bit more, but the duck meat itself was perfectly cooked. So I had the leg and the thigh last night, which is actually a surprisingly small portion when you look at the duck. They're all breast. And this morning I took the rest of the big chunks of it off and then did a few slices that I had with a lovely frittata omelet. And one of us. Yes, we will make her one of us. It will be amusing. So yeah. So yeah, so I made, like I had a whole bunch of vegetables that were about to go bad in my fridge. So I chopped them all up, threw them in with some eggs, and I put in Swiss cheese. Well, actually I put in Jarlsberg cheese. I put in a local farmer's market cheddar and a local farmer's market jack cheese, and did a slow cook frittata, and then had polenta that I sliced up and I fried up in a lime infused olive oil, and then had maple syrup on that. It was a wonderful meal, and I'd like want more now. I'm still hungry. I do have more frittata. I did not finish the frittata, so I may have more of that. But all good. Yeah. Oh, duck is incredibly rich. Yeah, it's all dark meat. But it was so yeah. So I'm eating it over multiple meals. You know, I had the one piece last night. I had a few slices with breakfast this morning. I'll probably cook up more of it. I still have an actual chunk of duck breast, like a decent size cooked, but that I kind of sliced in one large piece and then a bunch of smaller pieces. Who knows? Maybe I'll break down and get French fries and chop up some cheese and make my own version of a poutine. That sounds really good right now. I did not keep the drippings though from the duck fat, and I know I should have, but because of the glaze I put on the duck, I did not. So we shall see. It would be yummy. It really was yummy. The farmer's market had a cranberry orange marmalade. So I spread that on it, and then I put a couple slices of lemon underneath the body of the duck, and then underneath the wing, the one wing that was there. And then I had some pineapple, and I ripped up pieces of the pineapple I'd already chopped up, and this was fresh pineapple, not from a can, and kind of dotted that on it. Let it brown for a little bit. Then I covered it, and then I put the glaze on. Oh, and the glaze had some of the pineapple white balsamic vinegar mixed in with the cranberry orange marmalade to kind of give it more liquidity. And that liquidity, I like that word. Just to pour that over the top, and then covered it again, and then let that go. And it probably took for the half duck about an hour and a half, all said and done. Because the first few minutes to get the browning on the top, I did that high. It didn't crisp as much as I should have, but also because it's a half duck, I had the wing up rather than the breast up, which is what you should be doing to help drain out some of the fat. So, oh well. But I let that go, and yeah, it was tasty. It was tasty. I mean, I'm sure there were things I would change if I do it again, but it was quite good. What do we got here? Making my first gnocchi. Oh, gnocchi sounds very nice. I found a gluten-free recipe for gnocchi, and I'm very tempted because, I mean, I can buy gluten-free gnocchi, but it'd be kind of cool to make. It's just, you know, I'm going to make a whole pot of gnocchi for me. Okay. That's, you know, then I got to eat it. I still have the 3-pound pork butt, second pork butt. I said butt. To make more carnitas, because that carnitas I made the other week, oh my God, was so good. Was just really, really surprisingly incredibly yummy. I was making tacos out of it for days and all kinds of good stuff. This was just, it was a jelly. There's a woman who makes her personalized jellies or customized jellies. So she had the cranberry orange she had found in her stock of stuff that she had brought to the farmer's market. So that was good. And that's the booth where I usually get my cheeses too. I did not go to the farmer's market today because I still was going through some of the stuff from that. And I saw there's not enough I would have needed to get, as much as I am very tempted to go back and get more of the rock rum, which tastes just like an old fashioned when you pour it out of the bottle, which is dangerous because that means you're drinking a lot more of it, but it's really good. What do we got here? Can we do a cooking and wine show with you, or just in general when people get together again? I would be willing to do some cooking and wine. I am not grand with recipes. I do some with them, but I am, as I've explained to people before, I cook by smell. You know, some by taste, but a lot of times, like I'll taste what's in the already cooking, and it needs something, and then I'll go and I'll start smelling all of my spices. Literally, no, that's not it. No, this is it, and that one's it, and then I'll mix it up, let it permeate itself, and then take another taste, and there you go. Which is why the sangria class that I did with Drew was so much fun. Because they were like, oh, you can build your own sangria. We're going to help you build it. And they gave us some ingredients. And I'm like, okay. And then I started sniffing all the bottles of the pomegranate lemonade and the sage and the fruits and the other stuff. And I'm like sniffing everything until I, okay, this is how I'm going to build it. And it was great. I ended up with I used a pomegranate lemonade with triple sec and a sparkling cava, which was not super sweet and not stupidly dry. And then added in a little bit of, I stirred it with fresh sage. And it just, I don't know how much it does to it, but there's a little bit of just, it was a perfect blend. It was really lovely. And I had a raspberry sitting on the edge because we found out in class, sangrias do not actually have the fruit in them. Didn't know that, did you? Sangrias, you marinated it in the fruit, but when you pour the drink out, you should not have the actual fruit in it. True sangria. And does Drew remember, without cheating or looking it up, what the original version of sangria was called back in Greece? I'll give him a minute to think about it and try to type it up. All right, so Minnie Finesse, you have a fabulous garden in Glen Burnie. Seriously? Terry, we need to talk. Let's just leave it at that. I share a picture of their hens. Oh my goodness. Yes, I would love to see that. Okay, Drew, it was Hippocris. It looks like Hippocris, but it's pronounced Hippocris. And that was the original version of what sangria is. Because I remember the stupid minutia of facts. Yeah, that's very cool. So are they egg-laying hens? Do they have a rooster that makes them want to produce? Or no? I will ask later. Okay. You're making ice cream. Oh, man. See, and I thought about that. I used to have an ice cream maker. The problem is it's going to take up so much room in my freezer to get it to the right temperature and let it do its thing. I got I saw a recipe for some really good, like, chocolate ice cream that I'm really tempted to make, and I might. But then again, it's all me. So what the heck? I remember the Walt Disney World's Fair, which became somewhat famous, and that featured Spain. Yes, and that was the 1961 World's Fair. By the way, since I'm rambling about all of this sangria class stuff, for those of you who have not seen that video, the last video I have on the vlog series, which would have posted last week, not this week that we just finished, but the one prior, that actually has the information from the sangria class, and you can hear some of this information discussed there, because that's what I do. Oh, okay. So you mixed everything up and then you just throw it in a container in the freezer, or what do you use to actually freeze the ice cream to make it iced cream versus just cream with really good stuff in it. Curious. I've seen like there's this new, like the Steve's super frozen plate thing, you know, when you used to go to Steve's or something and they would do the mix-ins. Steve's was a Boston, Massachusetts thing. I don't know how many of you know about that. How are we doing? All right, so we only got about 10 minutes left, actually. I have rambled for a good amount of time. How exciting. I will again remind you, if you have questions, please remember to like this and throw comments on the bottom if you're watching this after the fact, and subscribe if you haven't. Before we finish on to anything else, we've got next week coming up. Am I pulling Stupina back out? Am I pulling Columbina back out? Do you want to chat with me? Is there something specific you want to talk about? Because you guys are here, so you get to help me determine what happens next. I just did no roosters, just hens. Okay, but they're still laying. That's impressive, because a lot of times I've been told having a rooster with the hens helps encourage them to lay. We just got somebody new. Welcome, whoever it is. So the question on the plate is Columbina, Stupina, or Michelle next week. What do we want to see? Or is there a specific topic that you want to be covered? You guys get the first say. Otherwise, you know, we'll see how it pans out from here. Here we talk. Ice cream doesn't have to be difficult. Oh, no, it shouldn't be. It's just a matter of getting that stupid freezer thing in the freezer. I mean, I used to make it all the time. And I have like a whole bunch of bananas that need to be made into something. So I could like make a banana chocolate chip ice cream now. That would be pretty fabulous. I also got okay, so I picked up this thing thinking it was going to be healthy. Banana chocolate milk. Like it's banana liquid with some chocolate thrown in. Milk. Oh, the glass pan? Okay, and you just put that whole pan in there. And okay, that makes sense. As long as you have a good fat content to the cream in there, that's probably good. I can see that. But yeah, so this is weird. And I thought, oh, banana chocolate should be really good. Let me get it. And it's not. And I feel bad because I spent like $4 or $5 on it. Bleh. Bleh. I may give it one more feeble attempt now that it's chilled enough in the fridge, but bleh. We have, oh, is that the whipped up, fluffy, frothy, almost like ice cream kind of whipped cream kind of coffee stuff I've seen everybody making these days, because that looks yummy. And I am hoping we get to do the thing for Suhail when all of this is back up and functioning. That means nothing to anybody else. Terry and I are in another group where one of the people who was in my class in high school used to post about, had people posting about, I guess he was a chef. So he was always posting pictures of food he made. And then it was similar to another page I'm on now, but people would post like, here's this thing we made today, or here's the food in the window today kind of thing, and describe it. And it was just a nice way to share really cool, wonderful, here's food, here's love. He just passed away from complications with coronavirus about 2 weeks ago. And one of the things I said is, hey, when all of this passes, because we couldn't be there for the funeral, do we want to do something in honor of him and everyone do a potluck? It was all about all the sharing of food. So we all bring some of the food we share and you know, maybe make an event out of it. So yeah. So we'll see if that happens. You know, it's still going to be a number of months before I think we're all going to feel safe to do that kind of stuff on a more casual level where it's really just our control, you know. So we shall see. So yeah, we don't, no one has said, yeah, no one has said what they want to see next week. So it's probably going to be me, because this is easier than the other two. I mean, not that the others are impossible by any stretch, but this is, I don't have to put my contact lenses in. So, and I'm going to give like another minute for if anybody else has any questions left or anything else they want to ask about or talk about before I close this up, because we're at about an hour, and I think that's probably a good solid time. And both of my cats have left me and are probably grumbling with each other, and it's yeah, sad. But thought I would touch base and see, and if no one has questions, I'll give it another 30 seconds, and then if I don't get more questions, I will say goodbye for today. And I hope you are having an incredible. Wait, what do we got here? Always have fun. Thank you very much, very much. From my viewpoint, I like Michelle talk. Okay, that's fine. All right. Thank you, Mr. Matt, and thank you, Mr. Drew. All right, guys. Then I thank you so much for coming out or staying in and enjoying this time. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep cooking, and I will see you soon. Cause I don't have a tagline.